Have you ever wished for better than FD returns but without entering the roller coaster world of equities? If yes, you are not alone. India's investment culture is changing fast, and while equity markets continue to dominate headlines, not every investor is comfortable with volatility. So, where do investors go when they want stable returns with a little extra yield? Enter high yield corporate bonds and, more importantly, platforms like IndiaBonds, which claim to make bond investing simple, transparent, and accessible. But the real question is, in India bonds truly worth your time and money, or are there hidden risks behind those attractive yields? Let us break it down in an in-depth manner in this video. So hi there, welcome back to holisticinvestment.in, where we help individual investors like you to make the right financial and investment decision to reach your financial goals in a more faster and smarter way. So before analyzing this bond platform, let us first understand the bond market and what exactly is a bond. So think of bonds as large-scale loans. You lend money to a company or to the government and they pay you interest regularly and return your principal at maturity. Simple on paper, right? Then why do so few retail investors actively explore the bond market? Because for decades in India, bonds have been complex, filled with jargon, opaque with limited publicly available information, and institution dominated, leaving little space for small investors. But things are changing. Platforms like IndiaBonds and other digital marketplaces promise to make bonds as easy to buy as mutual funds, like transparent, accessible, and available in smaller ticket sizes. So the question is, does accessibility solve the underlying risk? So let's go deeper in this video. What exactly is a bond? A bond is nothing but the loan you give to the issuer, which can be a company, NBFC, bank, or government. In return, you get fixed interest, coupon, and principal repayment at maturity. But before you hit invest, pause and ask, what if the issuer defaults? Are you fully aware of their debt levels, cash flows, and repayment history? Can you exit anytime? Because bond liquidity varies widely. Some can be sold easily, some barely trade. And how do interest rates affect bond prices? When rates rise, existing bonds fall in value. Many retail investors overlook this. Or am I evaluating credit risk or just chasing a higher yield? So attempting return often hides a bigger risk. Online platforms list hundreds of bonds, but listing is not equal to safety. Your due diligence matters more than ever. So if you take a look at government securities, GSECs are considered the safest fixed income instrument in India because they are backed by the government of India itself. They offer stability, but that doesn't automatically make them suitable for all investors. So important questions to reflect on are, will GSECs beat inflation consistently? Historically, they stabilize portfolios, not maximize returns. And what about liquidity? While some safe, some long dated issuers don't trade effectively. So, as RBI Retail Direct beginner friendly, it's transparent and direct but not always intuitive for first time users. So, are the returns worth the long maturities? Many GSECs run for 10, 20, even 40 years. You can buy them through RBI Retail Direct or platforms like IndiaBonds, but safety and suitability are not the same. And if you take a look at corporate bond, so corporate bond investing accelerated after SEBI lowered the minimum investment to 10,000 rupees, opening the gates for retail investors. But higher yield almost always means higher risk. Questions you must ask are, does AAA truly mean safe? It means strong credit worthiness, not zero risk. Is the extra yield compensating you for hidden trouble? High coupons often indicate weaker financial strength. And is the issuer's cash flow reliable? Short-term profit is not the same as long-term solvency. Digital platforms make buying corporate bonds easy, but they do not make them safe. Your analysis here matters more than the interest rate. Credit ratings give you a quick snapshot of an issuer's repayment capability, but here's the reality. Have agencies missed red flags before? Yes. Can an AAA fall to D in a sudden event? Yes. Can downgrades trigger panic selling and price crashes? Absolutely. A credit rating is a starting point, not a guarantee. Smart investors use ratings but never depend solely on them. So these agencies here presented assess the credit worthiness of issuers, like the agencies are CRISIL, ICRA, CRE ratings, Brickwork ratings, India ratings and research. But remember, issuers pay for ratings. This issuer pays model can create conflicts of interest. That's why cross verifying across agencies and reading the rationale behind the rating is essential. So not all bonds carry the same level of safety. So understanding the hierarchy is crucial. So senior secured bonds are backed by collateral, meaning assets, which is higher safety within corporate bonds, and senior unsecured bonds means no collateral, so higher risk if things go wrong. And subordinated bonds are repaid after senior bondholders, so higher yield means higher risk. And perpetual bond means no maturity date, so they are sensitive to interest rate changes, so highest risk among listed bonds. If a company collapses, the type of bond determines who gets repaid first and who potentially gets nothing. So now, as we have a basic idea about the bonds and the bond market, let us now move on to the analysis of India Bonds. So first, let us understand what this platform is about. So India Bonds is a SEBI registered online bond platform provider, which means the platform follows SEBI's compliance norms for transparency, investor protection and transaction safety. But here's the distinction most investors miss. SEBI regulation protects you from platform risk. It does not protect you from issuer risk, the risk that the company you lend money to cannot repay. So SEBI regulation protects you from platform risk like fraud, mis-selling, hidden charges or operational issues. It does not protect you from issuer risk, the risk that the company you lend money to cannot repay. So while the platform itself is safe to transact on, the underlying bonds still require your judgment. So minimum investment amounts are small, like G-Secs require 100 rupees and corporate bonds require 10,000 rupees. This makes bond investing extremely accessible, but accessibility should never replace analysis. Platforms make investing easier, not safer. So some of the key features of India Bonds are they offer several investor friendly features like SEBI OBPP compliant, which means it ensures structured processes and transparency. There is zero brokerage and no hidden fees, meaning clear cost structure. And also there is a modern intuitive interface which is easy for first time users, and there are returns ranging from 8 to 14%, which is attractive but must be evaluated, and tenures range from 6 months to 5+ years, which means good flexibility. So these features makes the platform convenient, but convenience can sometimes make risk feel smaller than it is. High yields, they always carry trade-offs like credit risk, liquidity risk or both. So India Bonds list multiple categories of fixed income products like sovereign gold bonds, SGBs, which has 2.5% annual interest. Capital gains are fully tax-free if you're holding them for more than 8 years, and tradable on exchanges and is best for long-term wealth building with gold exposure. And corporate bonds have higher coupon rates, which means the risk varies widely depending on issuer quality, and it is ideal only if you understand credit risk and can evaluate financial stability. And number 3, government securities. So it includes T-bills, state development loans like SDLs and long dated G-Secs. So higher security due to government backing and suitable for conservative investor. It works well for predictable income and capital preservation, but each product serves a different purpose and not all fit every investor. So let us take a look at the interest payouts. Regular interest payouts sound attractive, but they come with questions like, are you sacrificing compounding? Like payouts stop your money from accumulating returns, or will you reinvest the interest like most investors don't, which results in lower real returns? And what if the issuer delays a payment? Credit risk often shows up through delayed interest before outright default. And is a mutual fund more efficient for your goal? Like debt funds reinvest interest, automatically enhancing compounding. So earned income is great, but compounded income builds wealth. So if you take a look at the minimum ticket size, which I have previously mentioned, for government securities it is 100 rupees and for corporate bonds it's near 10,000 rupees. So these low minimums also make it easy to experiment with. But here's the trap. Small entry amount does not equal to small risk. Even with 10,000 rupees or 100 rupees, you're still exposed to issuer default, liquidity issues, or interest rate fluctuations. So avoid using emergency money or short-term funds just because the minimum investment is low. So India Bonds does well in user experience as well, like quick online KYC process, clean clutter-free dashboard, and assisted selling, which is helpful if liquidity dries up. But a smooth UI can unintentionally hide risk perception. Like, ask yourself, are the risks here clearly explained, or are you relying on the filters? Are you choosing bonds based on yield rather than issuer strength? And are you letting an easy interface replace real analysis? So technology simplifies access, not risk assessment. So who should invest via India Bonds? So India Bonds platform works best for investors who understand credit risk, can remain invested till maturity, and can seek returns higher than FDs. And if you want diversification beyond equity, FDs and mutual funds, it might be ideal. And if you have like a moderate to high risk tolerance. So before purchasing, ask yourself, can I handle a temporary price fall? Can I handle a missed interest payment? Or do I fully understand the issuer's business stability? Or does this bond align with my long term goals? So, if the answer is no, reconsider. So, the taxation aspect also significantly affects your net return. So, in the case of listed bonds, if you have been holding them for less than 12 months, you will be taxed as per your income slab rate. Or if you have been holding for more than 12 months, LTCG tax will apply at 12.5%. So, unlisted bonds will have holding which is less than 24 months taxed as per slab rate, and holding also more than 24 months like LTCG at 12.5%. And interest income will be taxed as income from other sources, and TDS will be deducted at 10% automatically. So always consider post-tax returns, not just the headline coupon. So many investors assume that bonds are automatically safer than equities, but safety depends on what kind of risk you're talking about. Equity markets are volatile, yes, but they go through crashes, corrections, and unpredictable phases. But historically, equity markets recover, sometimes even stronger than before. So volatility may test your patience, but it rarely results in a total wipeout unless you choose extremely poor quality stocks. So corporate bonds operate differently. A single default can cause permanent, irreversible loss of capital. So there is no bounce back if the issuer cannot repay. So we have already seen this happen to some strong looking names where it has collapsed. Like for example, DHFL, once trusted but later it turned into a massive default. And ILNFS was a AAA rated giant suddenly which collapsed, and Yes Bank 81 bonds also returned down to zero overnight. And multiple NBFCs also appeared fine until liquidity pressure exposed deeper cracks. So while equity brings volatility, corporate bonds carry the risk of finality. So stability in price does not equal safety in outcome. In 2020, the Indian debt market witnessed one of its most dramatic events, like Franklin Templeton wound up 6 debt schemes, freezing 25,000 crores. So investors couldn't redeem their money. So NAV stopped updating and redemptions were logged until asset recovery began. And this wasn't a small fund house or an obscure scheme. This was a reputed AMC with a long track record. If such an instituted and reputed AMC with a long track record, so if such an institution can run into liquidity and credit issues, what about lesser known companies offering 9%, 10%, 11%, or even 12% coupon rates on private platforms? Bonds don't offer daily NAVs like mutual funds, so you cannot always see the stress building up. And once liquidity dries up in the secondary market, you're effectively stuck. So chasing higher yield without understanding the underlying risk can cost far more than it pays. So why is interest, especially credit risk, so difficult to detect? So credit risk is not loud, it doesn't announce itself, it builds quietly through weakening cash flows, rising debt, promoter issues, or sector-wide stress. Everything looks normal until it doesn't. When a credit event hits, it tends to hit all at once. Sudden rating downgrades, rates, collapse in secondary market liquidity, questions on collateral valuation, delays in interest or principal payments, and steep drop in bond price, sometimes with no buyers. And remember, these are not substitutes for bank FDs. These are high yield, high risk instruments where the possibility of default is very real, even if the coupon looks attractive. So, what is the key takeaway from this video for retail investors, especially? So, I'm going to give you a quick summary of what really matters. So, high yield is equal to high risk always, and you need to evaluate the issuer first, not the platform's interface. And liquidity is unpredictable, you may not be able to exit always, and ratings can and do fail, so don't depend on them blindly. And never invest your emergency funds or goal based money in high yield corporate bonds, and you can diversify across issuers, sectors, and maturities to reduce concentration risk. So good return is useful, but recoverable return is essential. So if you want fixed income exposure without taking concentrated issuer risk, you can consider other safer, more diversified options like credit risk mutual funds, which spread risk across many issuers, and it has daily NAV updates, professional credit analysis, and better liquidity than individual high yield bonds. So RB Retail Direct's government securities is also another good alternative, which is backed by the government of India, which has zero default risk, transparent pricing, and suitable for long-term stability and predictable income. So these options may offer lower yield, but they also offer higher visibility and much lower uncertainty. So what is the final takeaway then? Is investing in a platform like IndiaBonds worth it or not? So platforms like IndiaBonds make bond investing accessible, but accessibility doesn't reduce complexity. A certified financial planner here can help you match the right bond type to your financial goals, analyze issuer stability and repayment history, understand tax treatment and post-tax returns, avoid unsuitable credit risk, maintain an allocation that protects, not jeopardizes your wealth, and build a portfolio that balances growth, income, and safety. Because smart investing isn't about chasing returns today, it's about preserving your future tomorrow.
You can definitely check out the blog post we have posted on our website through the link in the description. And if you want to gain more professional guidance through a professional financial planner, you can choose to book a one-on-one complimentary consultation with one of our professional financial planner through the link in the description. Also, if you want to gain more investment and financial insights through the leading experts in the finance industry, we also conduct regularly free live webinars through which you can register and gain these insights. The link is in the description. Also, if you like this video, definitely hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can come up with more such financially beneficial content for you. Thank you for watching.